I'm just delighted to have my sister Sally Strosahl speak today. And she spoke to us a few years ago. It's delightful to have you here. And I'm just so glad that she's back here again. She is a semi-retired marriage and family therapist who enjoys using music and stories to deepen our capacities to love ourselves and others. She and her husband of 53 years, Tom Johnson, who's not with us this morning, but he's here in spirit, wrote a book called Loving Your Marriage in Retirement, Keep the Music Playing. I highly recommend it. Any of you are interested? She was raised in Wisconsin, but they now live in Illinois and have children and grandchildren throughout the Midwest. So, Sally?
Thank you, Amber.
And turn your...
My microphone. Ooh, that really is a microphone. Everybody hear me okay? All right. It is really a delight to be with you again. I'm remembering when Amanda and Jack invited me, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, to come be with you and talk about grief and forgiveness. And I really enjoyed being able to do that. It was hard to put an 8-hour workshop into 20 minutes, but we did it. We'll try to do that again today. Part of what I loved was the talk back after the 20 minutes and to get your comments and to get your questions and to feel the community here. Since then, I've come many times to be part of your congregation when I visited Jack and Amanda, and it's just been a delight this weekend to be here and to be with family members and to celebrate baby coming and parenthood coming. You are getting bubbles, and that's going to be part of what we're going to be doing today. And you are allowed to open them whenever you want to and start to play with them when you want to. But I'll tell you at a certain time, thank you, Dilip, for getting it started. I'll tell you at a certain time when I particularly want you to do the bubbles. I've been invited to talk about self-care and about self-compassion. And I have grown to understand in my learning that self-care really is a service. We often think about self-care being selfish. We can't think about ourselves. We're supposed to think about everybody else. And it truly is one of those tasks that I think is absolutely essential for us to really know how to love each other. I'm going to start a little bit with some history. I see myself as a recovering codependent. I'm 74 years old. Codependent meaning that I put other people's needs before myself, my own needs, and that I have been reinforced in my life to put other people's needs before mine. And it has been an important task for me as a therapist to learn how to value, first of all, know, then value, then act on an awareness of my own needs in balance so that I can more efficiently, more carefully, more thoughtfully be of essence and presence for other people. That's where the service comes in. So in order for me to stay healthy, I have to keep working on those boundaries and that sense of balance, that sense of knowing how to do both, to be present. I'm 74, I'm still working on it. Some days it's easy, some days it's really a challenge. But what I'm learning as I'm getting older is that my body and my spirit tells me when I'm out of balance. If I'm feeling particularly heavy, or I'm feeling particularly slow, and it just feels like I'm walking through mud, I know I'm holding on to something that I need to let go of. I need to take a moment to pay attention to my own emotional hygiene and my own physical hygiene. So I'm grateful, actually, for my aging body and being able to listen to the whispers of my body before my body has to scream at me because I'm not paying attention. So as I've been getting older and in the midst of everything that's going on in our world right now, the community I live in is 46% Hispanic. So you can imagine what happens when ICE shows up right around the block from my house. I feel a need to work on being lighthearted. I feel a need to learn how to balance my concerns for the world with being in a place of being lighthearted. So I'm going to invite you to play with me this morning. Another piece of biology, genealogy, my origins. My father was a Methodist minister. He was a really, really good minister. He was a very good preacher. He was a very good counselor. And he was a workaholic. He worked 80-hour work weeks regularly. And he was a perfectionist. My mother was a very, very smart, educated woman who, typical of that generation, suppressed her own desires and raised us 5 children, and resulting some low-grade depression. I was the oldest daughter. My older brother had checked out pretty early on not wanting to go through the whole achievement pattern that firstborns often feel. So as a second, I got all the firstborn achievement pressure and the first daughter pressure to nurture. So one of the images I had to work on in therapy was of myself as a 9-year-old, holding baby Amanda on my hip, holding on to toddler Philip with my hand, watching sweet younger sister Polly, who was a gymnast, she was born a gymnast, doing somersaults and laughing while I was being a good mama, being a good little mama, and getting straight A's in school, right? So I was so serious. So I have learned in my adulthood, it's been an ongoing process to learn how to play, to learn how to have fun, to learn how to not be okay with not being okay, with learning not to be perfectionistic, including my pants came out of the suitcase this morning, wrinkled. So I went into the ironing board in Amanda's house, and her iron, plugged it in, and it didn't work. And I had to go down to Jack, and I said, am I doing it right? And Jack said, yeah, you're doing all the right buttons. And I had to ask Amanda the same thing. Still didn't work. And Amanda said, we can go call Claire, and she can bring over her iron. I said, nope, I'm going to use this as practice. It is okay not to have perfect pants. Yes. So you get what this is about. This is about paying attention to our own self-care. I've talked a bit about myself. Now this really is about you. So I'm grateful to have these opportunities. So what I'm going to ask you to do to begin, if you're willing, stand up. And if you want to stay seated, it's okay too. But if you're willing, stand up. And I want you to feel your feet beneath you. Bring your presence to your feet. And I'm starting my timer here. There we go. Feel your presence to your feet. Feel the foundation underneath your feet. Feel that grounding. Feel how that feels grounded. Maybe bend your knees a little bit and feel that grounding underneath your feet. And then put your hands on your belly if you're willing. And just allow yourself to bring in a deep breath. Maybe fill your belly. And then exhale. And do that again. You may feel like yawning. That's really good to yawn. Yeah, you get a deep breath when you're yawning. Yeah. Take another deep breath. Fill that belly. And as you exhale, extend that exhale a little bit. Good. And now another breath. And extend your inhale a little bit. And then exhale. And now in this next exhale, I want you to exhale on ah. So inhale. Ah. love it. Let's do that again. Inhale. Let's do it again. Sounds so beautiful. Put your own energy into this room. Now with the next breath, I want you to exhale on a groan. Ready? Inhale. Let's groan again. I'm loving this. I'm loving your faces with the groan. Ready? Inhale. And then finish with a grunt. Thank you. You can sit down. So why did I have you do that? Because this morning we're going to be filling the idea of a self-care toolkit. We have toolkits for everything, right? And we need to have our own self-care toolkit. So we've been doing some deep breathing. That's a very profound and simple part of our toolkit. The next is I want you to have I also had here stretching. Yeah, I think some of you are automatically stretching, and that's good to do. And then I want to teach you another part of your toolkit, which is grounding. You can stand again if you want to, or stay seated. Put your hand on your belly and touch your belly button, which attaches us. That was where you were attached as a baby. And this is how this grounding chant goes. Very, very serious. You may not laugh. Belly button, oh my belly button, oh my belly button, I love you. Do it again. Belly button, oh my belly button, oh my belly button, I love you. Belly button, oh my belly button, oh my belly button, I love you. Belly button, oh my belly button, oh my belly button, I love you. Part of your toolkit. And you know the whole idea when you're around people that are really needy, without them even knowing it, you just gently hold on to your navel so they don't just attach and try to pull it all out of you. Just protect yourself, take care of yourself, hold your belly button. So another part of the toolkit for being playful and lighthearted in these days of seriousness, take out your bubble wand and blow some bubbles. Oh my gosh, look at these bubbles in this room. I love it. My husband and I went to the No Kings rally in our neighborhood, and there was a big bubble machine around the stage that went the whole time we were there. So now, I want you, as you blow your bubble, fix your attention on one bubble and watch it as it goes into the air. Just let it go on. Usually when I do presentations, I bring the bubble wands, and they invariably say, oh, no, this is so much fun, I'll give it to my grandchild. I said, no. You may share it with your grandchild, but these bubbles are for you. And you have an audience of professionals with all their degrees, and it's really hard for them to just think that it's okay to just do the bubbles. So you are welcome to do them at any time during our presentation today. You can do the next slide, please. Thank you. So self-care is giving to ourselves what we need to feel at our best, vibrant, and humming. thinking about ourselves as humming. When we're really at our best, our whole body, our whole spirit is humming. And you can also hum as part of your toolkit, which gives your body a nice internal vibration, meditation, massage. I like to think about ourselves as keeping ourselves tuned. We are the instrument. If any of you have played music, how many of you have played musical instruments? Yeah, so you know how important it is to keep tuned. And if you're not tuned, then you're out of tune and everybody together doesn't sound very good. When we think about ourselves as our own instrument, what we are offering to ourselves and the world, we need to keep ourselves tuned. So doing things that regularly tune you up, that regularly keep you in tune, or when you get out of tune, regularly put yourself back in tune, is part of our self-care toolkit. We need to then pay attention to the whole self, our mind, body, heart, and spirit. It's about truly loving ourselves. Next slide, please. So in our self-care toolkit, we've talked about deep breaths, we've talked about sighs and putting our own energy into the room and grunts and groans and being lighthearted, especially in these serious times. I've worked with too many people right now that are having a really hard time balancing their energy, and they're losing sleep. They're not taking care of themselves while they're trying to change the world, and that's not doing a service to any of us. We don't know what's going to be coming down the road, but we know we need to be ready. And part of being ready is keeping ourselves tuned up. Being grounded in what brings us relief, rejuvenation, and pleasure. When was the last time, maybe you regularly do this, but I have to remind myself, what brings me pleasure? I'm so focused on work and getting it done and doing the tasks. What brings me pleasure? And sometimes it's just very simple things. Like last week, it was going out to my garden. A freeze was coming. Going out to my garden, picking all the remaining herbs, getting them into the house, and cutting them up and putting them to ice cube trays to put in the freezer so I can pop them back out when I'm making a stew or making a dish. And it was delightful. I had such a good time. It was such a simple pleasure making my herbs. It's about balance also. So think about what gives you pleasure and put that in your toolkit. It might be taking long walks. It might be a full body hug. Full body hug. Especially if you're single or you're a widow, ask for those full body hugs. That gets the oxytocin going. That's the love hormone. That feels really good. Getting movement, eating good food, getting good sleep, taking naps. I love naps. Laughter. Whatever we need that brings us pleasure, think about that. Giving yourself balance, a sense of balance, putting it all together. Kind of asking yourself occasionally about that. Practicing self-forgiveness and self-compassion. That's a really hard one, and that's what that meditation was about. The song meditation, treating ourselves as a newborn baby child. I love that idea. It's sometimes when I'm giving myself a really hard time, I'm really critical of myself. I wish I wasn't so much. And at 74, it's easier to let go of some of that. But when I find myself giving myself a hard time, I think about myself holding a baby child, and I think about myself holding myself as a baby child. And we can give that to each other. We can remind each other about that. And the other line of the meditation, only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. When I'm being pushed, like if I'm learning something new or I'm encountering something I haven't done before and I get that panicky feeling, I have to remind myself, I don't have to do this fast. I only need to go as slow as I can only go as fast as the slowest part of me feels safe to go. And as soon as I give myself that affirmation, that panic goes away. It's like, okay, this is not life and death. This is good. I can work this out. And then having that attitude of gratitude. Gratitude is such a beautiful tool for our toolkit, for our self-care toolkit. For instance, if I'm having a bad pain day, I will feel grateful rather than focusing on the part of me where my arthritis is blowing up. I'll focus on the part of me that is working. And I'll feel that gratitude for my feet holding up this big body and being able to move. And as soon as I focus, do that shift, the gratitude helps me and I feel better. Bringing in that concept. The next slide, please. We're going to end with a visualization, and I'm getting you ready for this visualization. I want to say a word about emotions. We have given each other, we have taught emotions in a very screwed up way, especially in the Western culture. Emotion is emotion. Emotion is just a message. Feelings are just a message. That's all they are. They're meant to be recognized, felt, noticed, experienced. Don't not experience them. Don't pretend you don't feel it. Experience it, then let it go. Let it flow. Let it go, like stepping into that river you can't step into at the same place. Let it go. Don't hold on to it in our bodies. So much of the distress we feel is because we hold on to things instead of letting them go. And when we let go of the anger and the sadness and the grief and the resentment and whatever's getting in your way, truly let go of it, experience it, let it go. I'm not talking about Pollyanna, I'm talking about real work of letting it go. Then it expands our ability to feel everything, to feel joy and happiness and delight. But if we're holding on to something, it becomes a barrier. It doesn't let us go all the way through. I see lots of nodded heads. You all get that. And it's important to be reminded of that. I got a little video with my 3-year-old granddaughter yesterday. Here's Margot standing at the front of their house through the screen door, and she's looking at all the leaves falling off the trees. She goes, "Oh no, the trees are making a really big mess." Then she turned back and said, "Yeah, but Daddy take care of it." Daddy fix it. To which my son replied, "Oh, will I now?" We're going to move, the next slide, please. We're going to move into the next section in our remaining time. And I'm going to help you construct for yourself your own self-care kit. And first I want to say a word about spirit. Often we think about our bodies, we think about our feelings, we think about what's in our mind, what our thoughts are. Sometimes we don't pay as much attention to what our spirit is saying to us. That we are human, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. I don't believe that. I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so no matter what your belief system is, no matter who you see as your source, we are beings of spirit. We can't separate, just as we cannot separate from our bodies, our thoughts and feelings, we also cannot separate our spirit selves. It's present, if we acknowledge it or not. So being mindful of each part of ourselves enhances our sense of health and wholeness and guides our choice of wellness practices. I just ask you to think about that. So let me tell you what's going to happen next, if you're willing. This is just going to be a meditative experience that you can choose to share only with yourself. This is for you. You can choose to share it later if you want to. And I'm going to lead you through some questions. If you're comfortable, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes so you can pay more close attention to yourself. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then I'm going to ask you to design your own toolkit about what it is you need, and then I'll bring you back out of the meditation. So just take a moment to get comfortable in your chair, and take a couple deep breaths. Tune out the people around you. Imagine yourself in your own private bubble. You're totally in charge of this experience for yourself. And now take a few moments to tune into all the parts of yourself. Ask yourself, how am I doing today? How does my body feel? Tune into all those parts of your body. Pay attention to what your body is feeling. Stretch or move if you need to pay attention to your body. And know your body's giving you messages. That's all they are. It's just messages. If there's a particular place in your body that's feeling some pain or trying to let you know to pay attention, you might try breathing through that part of your body. Imagine a set of nostrils on that part of your body and breathe into that part of your body. A sense of ease and peacefulness. Or if you're feeling like you can't do that right now, just tell your body, I'll pay attention to you later. We'll go take a walk or we'll go take a nap. I'll pay attention to you later. We don't need to do that right now. I'll pay attention to you though, I'm listening. So pay attention to your body. And keep breathing deeply. Sometimes this can be hard work. And now ask yourself, what's in your heart? What are you feeling today? What are you aware of with your feelings? It can be a myriad of feelings. Pay attention to your heart. Nice. It's good to tell yourself the truth. Doesn't mean you have to act on it right away, but it's good to start from a place of truth. And now ask yourself, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking about right now? Feel the difference between a feeling and a thought. What are your thoughts? About yourself, or about the last interaction you had with somebody, or about what's kind of holding on, what's pulling at you. How do you feel about your schedule, or your to-do list, or being present in the moment? And now think about what your spirit is saying. What's your spirit saying to you? And now in this place of deeper relaxation, I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, what is it that you need right in this moment? What are you aware of? What do I need today to take care of myself? And note that. Pay attention. What does my mind, body, heart, spirit need to feel most fully alive, to feel well taken care of, to feel my best self? Pay attention to being open and notice when you are not being open to what your inner self is saying to you. And now, as you begin to get ready to come out of this visualization, take a moment to imagine how you will feel when you practice this daily self-care. Imagine what this will feel like for you. Associate it with a color and send the color through your body, the top of your head all the way down to your toes. And if at certain points during the day you need to remind yourself of this self-care, think of the color and send the color through. And now take a breath and come back out. Open your eyes gently. You can go through the next 3 slides. Take a moment with each one, Heather. The daily wellness check-in. What we just went through is a daily wellness check-in that I'm suggesting that you try to do every day. And, be forgiving of yourself. Just be aware of that. But allow yourself to do this daily check-in for self-care. Okay. I'm really eager to get to the talk back, so I'm going to do these next 3. Can you go to the quote, the Albert Camus quote, please, Heather? He said, "In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer, and that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better pushing back." One more poem, and then we're going to end with a silly song. I knew you would. You know that now about me, that we're going to have to end with a silly song. Sometimes, let's just blow bubbles for no good reason. Let's just blow bubbles, watch them disappear, not even wonder where, smile and touch the rainbow colors, watch them float in air. No reason why, no goals, no structure. Sometimes, let's just blow bubbles. I just ordered another 240 cases of these. Not cases, 240 in a case. So let's end, before we do the talk back, with this silly song. And the reason I'm sharing it is I was taught this song by a close friend of mine who was suffering from stage 4 cancer. So you know what her diagnosis was. And it helped her in the moment, no matter how she was feeling, to think about every cell of her body having a moment of health and wellness. And I thought it was so useful for us to think about our health begins with our very cells. So this is how this ditty goes. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Again, every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. I'm so glad every little cell in my body is happy and well. Woohoo! Oh, thank you for playing with me.